How exposed
Yes.
were the Pakistanis? How exposed were the Pakistanis? We've hit their radar positions. We, created their runways. How weak
Yes.
would they have been?
Well, this is why I call it a clear-cut victory. The moment the Indian Air Force started striking nuclear weapon storage facilities in Pakistan, it was absolutely clear that Pakistan is not entirely defenseless, but largely unable to defend itself from Indian strikes. Now, of course, the government in India, in New Delhi, and the top brass of the armed forces are cautious enough not to brag too much about this, even to deny it. But we have seen videos showing strikes on one of the, not actually, it's two different nuclear weapon storage facilities in Pakistan. This is speaking such a clear language. I cannot emphasize this enough. You do not play with enemy nuclear facilities. Nobody is doing that. Nobody is that irresponsible, and especially not rather conservative and cautious Indian generals. They are not going to shoot all over the place, and then by some kind of accident, one of the or two missiles hit. Well, what an accident! Precisely the entrance to the Pakistani nuclear storage facilities. Nobody's doing that. They're extremely cautious in this regards. So this means precisely this caution means they're absolutely sure Pakistan can't hit back. Pakistan has no means to pull these weapons out and put them on missiles or on aircraft and shoot them at India. This is what is making this so sure.
So you've analyzed the data and the material out there, and you've come to a conclusion that we got very close to hitting their nuclear facility. This is what you assess.
This is my assessment, yes.
And how do we, with a degree of certainty, ascertain this?
Well, has Pakistan deployed nuclear weapons against India?
No.
No. Has it caused any kind of major damage to any kind of Indian Air Force base, for example, or a major army base, camp, or barracks, whatever you want to name it?
No.
Has it? No. You see, and this is absolutely clear, son. Okay, now you can say, there is evidence that Pakistanis have shot down how many? 4 Indian aircraft during the first strike, during the opening strike, retaliation strike on terrorist camps. Almost no doubt about this, really. But that is also the next point. The strategists and decision makers in New Delhi were not too proud, but they didn't say, let's continue the same way like we have opened this. But no, they were not too proud. They switched their strategy and said, okay, now all out. Start with the air defenses, continue with Pakistan Air Force, and then hit the bases, hit the nuclear storage facilities. This is, from military point of view, this is making perfect sense. Actually, this is the only thing that is making sense. The way India has opened this affair by striking just terrorist camps inside Pakistan, but nothing else, that was not making sense. Why? Because in circles of people like me, everybody knows, no matter where, that in Pakistan, these jihadis and these terrorist groups are closely tied. They are supported, organized, financed, trained, and commanded by the inter-service intelligence of Pakistan. That this inter-service intelligence of Pakistan is also closely connected to the establishment of the country, to the 1% of people who are actually ruling 250 million of Pakistanis. So when you hit such a target, you don't, hit a little bit and then hope they are not going to hit back.
Right.
And this was the mistake at the start. But fortunately, New Delhi has figured this out and said, okay, and now, full all-out attack, knock out their air defenses, knock out their air force, or at least suppress it sufficiently for it not to matter, not to disturb our strikes, and then strike the air bases, strike the facilities.
Okay, finally, do you believe that all of this led to Pakistan throwing in the towel, raising its hand and saying that, look, we want a ceasefire? That's what you believe. And what about all these reports that have come out in the Western press in the Telegraph, etc., saying that, oh, India was blinded, its aircrafts could not take off and all of that. What do you make of that?
It is perfectly possible that Pakistan also deployed some kind of electronic countermeasures that are blinding one or another of Indian radar systems or other sensors. Absolutely not debatable.
Right.
There is no firm evidence for it, but that's a different story. But what matters is the outcome. And the outcome is Pakistan is getting, receiving blow after blow, but India is receiving no blow at all. And excuse me, in grand total, when you consider the scope of the outcome, it doesn't matter whether India has lost 5 or 50 combat aircraft. Important is that Pakistan was at the receiving end of Indian airstrikes and couldn't do anything against them.
Okay, well, this is as clear as it can get. Thank you very much, Tom Cooper, for sparing the time and putting the record straight, because that was much needed. Well, viewers,